The Under Armour tagline is "The only way is through." And it is everything that I embody. My practice, my life, everything. The only way to get through something is through it. Now, I'm fortunate because Under Armour was developed in my state, in Maryland. And actually, the founder of it doesn't live too far from me. And it's a beautiful, beautiful tagline. The only way is through. And I feel like we need to talk about it, baby, because I almost need to probably even do a whole podcast on it, because you keep looking for the fast fixes, right? We all just want to feel better. Let's be honest. We all want peace. We all want happiness. We all want financial security. We know what we all want, right? We all know what this big goal is. But you're not just going to invent it, okay? You're not just going to bring it to you and align with it and manifest it without dealing with your stuff, right? You can't cover it up. You can't do like a cat litter box and be like, "Oh, I don't like the, so we're just going to make it go away." It's still there. You still have to clean the litter box, right? Think of your problems as cat litter. Like seriously, as soiled cat litter, because it's there. You cover it up every now and again. You can be like, and you're like, "Oh, I don't want to deal with it today." But at some point you're going to have to. So why wait for it to fester and fester and fester and fester? Because you become a really good story writer. You become like the Stephen King of story writing. You start, "I could have done this. I should have done this. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't this person do this?" Because it's easier for you to blame other people, right? I have told you this multiple times. Your trauma is not your responsibility, but you are here now, and healing it is yours responsibility. It's not for anybody else to feel sorry for you. It's not for anybody else to walk the journey for you. It's your responsibility. And the only way to get through it is to get through it, is to go through it. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. I say that to everybody who's a new client of mine. You will lose people is one thing I say, because you will, and that's fine. And it's hard. It's supposed to be hard. Stop telling yourself, "Oh my God, it's hard. Oh my God, I don't feel like doing it." Okay, whatever. Isn't it hard to just feel empty? Isn't that hard for you? It was for me. So any way you look at it, life in general is a hard thing that's the game of life that we live in, baby. Why do we do what we do? Why are we here? I don't know, but we're on this journey together, right? We're in different sneakers. We're all going to the same destination. So deal with your stuff and handle your stuff. And the only way to do that is for you to go through it. You do not need that apology to heal. Oh my God, it's so important that you understand that. You don't need that apology to heal at all. What you need, now you might say, "I need that apology and I need to see a change behavior if you want to stay in my life." That makes sense, but you don't need it to heal, right? Because if you're waiting on something and you're holding grudges and you're doing all that stuff, those people are with you and those situations are with you while you're like, la, 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 la. They're still there. They're there in the shower with you. They're in bed with you. They're at work with you. They're in the car with you. They're walking with you. They're everywhere because it's there. You're not dealing with it. It's the litter. It's still there. Still needs to be changed. It's up to you to face it. Yes, it's supposed to be hard. Yes, it's supposed to be difficult. Yes, it is supposed to be triggering. How else are you going to heal it? Because everything else that you're doing is putting a Band-Aid on it. And then you want to treat the symptoms of the attachment, the symptoms of the insecurity, the symptoms of the codependency, the symptoms of the anxiety. Yeah, we do have to treat them so you're not like spiraling, but that will always be treated until we start dealing with the rooted issue. And this is where you have to take the accountability. This is all about your self-accountability. This is about you owning the things that you need to do, taking the steps that you need to make, to take and make. And it's up to you to go through that fire. Yes, you're going to have to deal with some uncomfortable things. I've said that. People might say, sometimes when people call me or, make an appointment with me, they want to talk about their marriage, and we will talk about your marriage, but we're not just going to talk about your marriage. That's the symptom, right? Is it you or them? Is it you overstepping a boundary? Is it you not having a boundary? Like whatever it is still going to have a deeper root. Everybody wants to just talk about this. No, you don't get to use your past as a victim state and as an excuse. No, but it's a reason. And you got to get clear that that's a reason, and it's there for a reason. Okay. So I need you to be in that headspace, in that clarity, and accept it. Whether you accept it or not, it's the facts. So you can keep avoiding it. You can keep saying you don't want to do it. This is where that self-discipline must come into play. Motivation is fake. Motivation's not real because we all get motivated until we're not. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I'd never do hardly anything. I'd never do a load of laundry. I'd never go to the gym. I wouldn't do anything. If I was waiting on motivation, I'd do nothing because between my ADHD and my OCD that fight each other, it can be almost like paralyzing in a way. And I got to push through that. I can't worry about what this is and the chaos to it. I just got to, okay, is it on the list to do? I do it. I can't worry about how I feel. And when you do that, you start to get more, self-confidence and you start feeling better about yourself and you start achieving your goals. Your tomorrow self deserves it. See, you're too worried about the instant gratification. Let's focus on your tomorrow self. What does your tomorrow self deserve? Because your tomorrow self deserves you to show up. Your tomorrow self deserves you to show up for yourself. And in order to do that, you're going to have to rip off, all the Band-Aids that we've put on ourselves. You're like, oh, that's a scar. I don't want to talk. Ugh. You got all these little bruises and scars and scratches. And you're like, I'm here. And meanwhile, you look like a mess. Well, now we're going to make that go away, right? But the only way to make that go away is to go through it, to make those wounds that you've covered, open them up. That's right. Open them up, clean them out. Yep. Is that supposed to hurt? Yes. But guess what it does? It heals correctly. You'll have a scar. Scars are beautiful. We need you to have the scars. We need you to have the dents and dings. That's what makes you a beautiful human. That's where you take the experiences and you move forward. But you do that and you're like, oh, wow. Okay. It's still there. You're still reminded of it, but that's okay. You're not triggered by it anymore. You can say, oh, I know where I got the scar. I got the scar from blah, 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 blah. Whatever the scar is, whatever that open wound is, you can talk about it because look at it. It's there. It doesn't define you. It's a part of you, but it doesn't define you. And so then you go to this next one and then you go to this next one. And guess what? It's going to take a long time. You got to stop thinking it's going to be fast. No, you got to be consistent. How are you showing up for yourself every day? How are you dedicating and are you putting effort into yourself? Are you putting yourself as a priority? Are you putting yourself as your number one? If you're not, now we're going to have to go back to this. We're going to have to open some wounds as to why you think that you shouldn't be your main priority. And the answer is not, I was raised to believe that if you do that, you're selfish. Okay, we know you're here now. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to keep adopting that? Are you going to keep adapting to it? We're not going to do that. And that's the important factor for you. That's the part that you got to get clear in. That's the part that you got to accept. It is no one's job to come for you but you. Okay? Need you to get here and you deserve that. But you got to know that you deserve it. And the only way to know you deserve that is to go through some of the expectations that you had, some of the resistance that you're doing. Got to go back through it and uncover some of those unhealed wounds. Because just because you think you've dealt with them, that doesn't mean that they're healed. That means that you're kind of like, okay, I'm going to put them on a shelf. No, because you'll know that you are healed, but healing is a lifelong process when you can talk about it and you're not even triggered about it. You're like, yeah, blah, 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 this happened to me. And sure, like you talk about it, it doesn't stress you anymore. Doesn't freak you out anymore. You can talk about it while drinking coffee and ordering a coffee. That's how you know, not avoiding it, not saying, oh, I'm good, but I don't talk about it. Well, it still has control over you. All right. So I want you to get very, very clear in this. Because the only way, and Under Armour, when I had this on today, I was like, oh, this reminds me of that, is that the only way is through, okay? That your only way is going to be going through that fire to get the other side. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. Is it hard? Yes. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Do I care that any of those things are there? Nope. I don't care that that's how you're going to feel because your feelings are facts and you're going to see that you're taking ownership of yourself. In turn, what does that do? That gives you the power that you feel as though you've lost along your way. You may have never had the power. So it starts to create that empowerment for you. But guess who's got to do it? You. Nope. You can't go that way. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. You got to go this way. Okay. So you're going to have to buckle up and get ready for it. but you deserve it. And when you get on the other side of that, oh my God, it is so powerful. And I can't wait for you to get there.